I want to ask you another general question, though. This large, big concept of well-being, how does it relate to something that's measurable and actionable?
What we've seen governments come up with is a combination, a kind of basket measure of different facets of well-being, everything from objective measures of well-being, so-called objective measures of well-being, so things like life expectancy and income, etc., and subjective measures of well-being, those where people are asked to evaluate either their own well-being directly or their own general state of health, general state of happiness, for example. Those measures in the places where they've been used, including now in a kind of nascent stage in Canada, have been used in combination to come up with measurable ways of accounting for well-being.
I mean, not everything, as you know, Chris, about well-being can or should be measured or is easy to measure. There are frameworks that focus heavily on a human capital approach to children, and so they tend to focus on more limited aspects of life and well-being, particularly on skills development and educational success. And there's endless data about youth health behaviors, and it's all towards, are we creating these future citizens who will be productive in our society? And when we focus too much on that, we're excluding all the other aspects of life that I've mentioned that are so important to children's well-being today. What I think that many adults fail to recognize is that children's well-being also has all of the same elements that adults need for their well-being, and these things should be part of measurement frameworks as well. So, children need material security, they need supportive relationships and belonging, and the ability to participate in society, in their families, in their schools, as well as a healthy and livable environment and physical and mental health. And of course, time and space to play. Leisure is something we often measure in adult frameworks. Do adults have enough downtime? Are they spending quality time? And finally, children's own sense of well-being or subjective well-being has increasingly been recognized as a critical aspect of understanding and measuring their well-being. Children can report on many different experiences and perspectives in terms of their well-being. So it's really a new frontier that we're recognizing, that children can relay how happy they are, how satisfied they are with their lives, just as adults can.
So the notion of measuring beyond just the economic important indicators of a thriving society to bring into a full suite of possibilities, measurements that are rigorous and meaningful and can be actioned upon, has been, I think, a journey that many have been on for a long period of time. Our work at Engage Nova Scotia really lit up when we asked Nova Scotians about the relative importance that they place, not as competing forces between economic growth and improving people's quality of life, but just to ask separately, how important are each of these concepts to us? And when we saw the resonance that this notion of quality of life had with Nova Scotia residents, we went in search of ways in which it got measured. And we saw the really valuable work that has been happening for decades around subjective well-being and happiness. And we also came upon the work at the Canadian Index of Wellbeing, which has for many years been doing first an index, but more importantly, a survey of hundreds of questions related to both objective and subjective well-being, which we liked a great deal. And in 2019, our small organization at Engage Nova Scotia went about surveying Nova Scotians on those measurements, both objective and subjective well-being. Survey results are one thing, animating it to become actionable work for all sectors, and particularly the government sector, is the journey that we are on in collaboration with Nova Scotians, and in particularly all three levels of government. But it's given us now a framework within which we can really clearly point to the actions and opportunities that will actually close gaps for people and provide for, we hope, a more inclusive and equitable and resilient society than the one that we currently live in.